What's up, real MVPs? Ricky Widmer here, and welcome into another edition of MVP Sports Live. Right here, you may be watching us on Twitch. You may even be watching us on YouTube. No matter how you're watching us, thank you for checking us out as we talk about the biggest news in sports each and every day. I am joined for this week, I can say as I've always been joined as, because this is now 4 out of the 4 days, or I'm sorry, 3 out of the 4 days. I've been joined with my beautiful co-host, Jake Neverman.
How we doing?
Jake, I got a big question for you.
Yeah.
How's the Bill Gates super chip treating you? Because you are fully chipped out, ready to go.
Bill Gates is fully inside of me, boys. He's inside of me. It's all right. Just a sore arm.
Just sore arm. No sickness yet. No tiredness, as they say after the second shot.
I took a nap, but I mean that was because I couldn't sleep well last night. I don't think that's because of the shot.
Jake was like, I was thinking about it all night. What am I going to do now in 2 weeks when I'm fully vaccinated? That's what Jake was thinking about.
Going to a club?
No. Going to a Sixers game. That's more what it is. Mad Rogue even says, full chip gang, let's go. That means you're fully chipped. My mom will be fully chipped a week from today. I will be fully chipped a week from next Saturday. Dude, you love it when a plan comes together, don't you? You love it when a plan comes together. We're almost there. Just hang on, people. As Pat McAfee would say, Jake, takes all of us. Takes all of us. If we're gonna beat this thing, show COVID who's boss. But we got a great show. JD throwing things off. Can't relate. As JD, Canada is a different story. But we got a jam-packed show talking about the NFL draft. Jake and I were here on Monday talking about it. We're talking about it today because, Jake, we are about, I would say, 24 hours. I think we are officially 24 hours, as I'm pretty sure the draft starts 7:30 Eastern next week on Thursday. I think that's the start time. Usually
not 24 hours, 7 days.
You're right. 24 hours times 7. That's how far we are from it. I wish it was tomorrow, but it is next week. I will say now, beginning of housekeeping, I will put this out there. We will have a live stream for the entire first round of the draft. So come join us for the first round of the draft. We're going to be reacting to all the picks, kind of like how Dave and I did for the NBA draft, but it's going to be most of us. I'm assuming it's going to be Jake, UI, and Dave at the least.
Maybe if Dave shows up.
Yeah. If Dave wants to.
He might have to raid.
Yeah, maybe.
He might have to raid.
It is a Thursday night, so that is raid night. But at the very least, it'll be Jake and I. We're just reacting to all the picks, kind of shooting the shit that way. I'm going to have some graphics like I did last year for the NBA draft, or was it this year? No, it was last year. It was 2020. It was last year. It was 2020. But we will be live streaming that, so mark your calendars. Make sure you're here for that. Also, if you're not in the Discord, go ahead and join it today. It's free. Greatest community in the universe. Link down below if you're on YouTube or !Discord and the Twitch chat. Get you that link. If you want to support us at a monetary value, you can do so by checking out patreon.com/MVPvids or throwing us a sub on Twitch. No matter how you support us, you get rewarded for doing so. We got bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. Twitch subscribers also get the bronze reward from our Patreon page. So no matter how you're supporting us, you're getting rewarded for doing so. Thank you to our Patreon sponsor, Pat Hill. We're on Twitch, twitch.tv/MVPvids every Monday through Friday. We're also on YouTube at MVP Sports. So go ahead, follow, sub, all those locations, so you're always in tune to what's going on with MVP. But Jake, first thing we're getting into today, first thing I will say, I completely blanked and did not make the title cards for this video. So we're going back to the past where we don't have the title cards. Sorry, Twitch chat, for that, but only 2 real topics today. The first thing we're talking about, Jake, is there are rumors towards the top of the draft that there are several teams that are looking to trade back this year in the draft. Obviously, we talked about the Falcons, Dave and I, a couple weeks ago. On Monday, we talked about the Cowboys apparently wanting to trade back. But now you have Ian Rappaport on NFL Network kind of talking about how the Dolphins, who are at 6, might be looking to trade back. The Giants, who are at 10, that would be a first for Gettleman to trade back. but they are looking to trade back. You have the Panthers that have been thrown in trade back rumors. You have the Falcons, like I said. In your mind, Jake, is there anybody, really the Dolphins are the big one, and I kind of want to start there. Yeah. Would it be smart for the Dolphins to trade back at 6, or is this kind of telling us, maybe Kyle Pitts is going to be off the board?
Yeah, I think the Dolphins are a prime spot if a team wants to move for the quarterback that falls out of that top 3, top 4. If they want to move up and trade future first to move up to get a player like that, let's say a Justin Fields falls out of the top 5 or whatever it is, that the Dolphins could be that option. Because while the Dolphins are sitting there, a lot of Penei Sewell has been talked about going there, but say Kyle Pitts goes 4 and Penei Sewell goes 5, and then you got the Dolphins sitting there like, yeah, we could take Jamar Chase, but there's a lot of wide receiver depth in this first round. So what if we move back, get an extra couple picks for the future, and move from there? Which, I mean, maybe a team like the Panthers wants to just go up 2 spots to get there because maybe somebody else wants to jump them or something along those lines. So I think the Dolphins are a prime candidate for if somebody wants to get a quarterback, but I think if Pitts or Penei Sewell's there, I don't see the Dolphins moving out.
Yeah, I'm the same way. As my Google Chrome is messing up, Jake. It keeps failing links on me, but that's the thing. Like, I look at this, and the only thing I can rationalize in my mind is that if the Dolphins are moving back, both Pitts and Sewell are off the board. Yeah. That's it. Because if Kyle Pitts is there, it's a no-brainer pick. And if Sewell's there, it's a no-brainer pick. You hit the point right on the head. With the wide receivers, yes, Jamar Chase or Jalen Waddle, to me, there's an argument of who could be number 1, and you're getting either one. You're like, cool, I'm in a prime spot to get one of these top wide receivers, but you don't really need a top receiver anymore in the draft. If you can trade down, you can go ahead and get a Rondale Moore, and they have the 18th overall pick, their own pick, that they can use on that. If they're even if they move back, the teams that are rumored to be trading up, you've got, you mentioned Carolina could, but Denver, you've got the Chargers, if Penei Sewell's there and the Chargers call with a package, New England for a quarterback, Chicago, Washington, you could even move back to 1920, and there's even offensive tackles down there that you can go ahead and take, because to me that's the 2 needs. They need a tackle and a pass catcher in this first round. They need to give Tua somebody to throw to, and then they also need to give him just somebody to protect his ass. That's the only 2 things they need in this first round. So I mean, if Kyle Pitts or Sewell's not there, you can still get those values later on in the draft, like you said.
Yeah, I mean, even if they go back down that 1920, like you talked about, a team like Washington wants to move up or whatever, if Tevin Jenkins or Sam Cosmi, or however you say it. I think it's Cosmi. I forget how to say it.
It's Cosmi.
Cosmi. If one of them is there at 1920, you can take one of them. I don't know if they, or even Eichenberg even's falling down that far, which is, I rate him. I think I rate him higher than most people do. But like I said, this first round is deeper with tackles and wide receivers than probably even last year, though it was stacked with wide receivers. But so it's proven that you can move back and still get a stud wide receiver like Justin Jefferson falling that far last year. So I could see Miami, just because Miami's a good football team already. Yeah. And this top pick is a bonus, but it's not a bonus that they per se need. So moving back and getting additional picks would be good for them. But at the same time, if Penei Sewell is there or Kyle Pitts is there, I don't think it's really a question. I think it's just whichever one of them you rate higher if they're both there, but probably won't both be there. So if Pitts would fall to them, I think you're saying they'd run it up to the podium if they could. And if Penei's there, they probably take a couple calls. They listen to the offers. They don't love any of them. Then they can just slide the card in there right before the clock expires.
Yeah. The other team that I kind of want to take a look at, and you can hear my dog Buddy is excited about this team. I don't know why, because they're from New York. But there are rumors. I first heard this, like I said, Rappaport on NFL Network said it, to where apparently the Giants, a team we talked about earlier this week, we talked about who they could take at 10. We didn't really touch upon them trading back per se. I think we might have mentioned it, like, hey, if someone calls in that sense, but apparently there is some rumors heating up about the Giants moving back. Like, this is now the third thing we've heard. We heard, oh, they're going to go with an edge rusher. Oh, they're going to go with a wide receiver. Oh, they're going to go with an offensive tackle. Now we're hearing, oh, they're thinking about trading back. Just with the Giants alone on the trade back, is it smart for them to move back because of kind of what we hit with other teams? Is this going to be pretty much, is this going to be the draft where nobody wants to take the guys at the top because nobody is standing out enough compared to all the depth below them?
Yeah, but even in that question that, because while I still think Jalen Waddle has a high upside, not Devonta Smith, Jamar Chase is like, he was one of the most dominant college wide receivers ever at the age of 18.
But he's not going to be there at 10. Like, really, it'd be like Smith or Waddle if they're going wide receiver, right? Like,
yeah, and I guess
thinking
the only really way I would see a team giving up a lot of value moving up is a team, obviously, like you said, that needs a quarterback. Because you said the Giants, right? Because the Giants are at 11.
The Giants. The 11.
Oh, yeah, okay. I was just making sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, if Devonta Smith is there, I think that the Giants should take him, honestly. I think he fits exactly what they need. He can play next to Golladay. The whole Devonta Smith needs to add weight. It's a little bit scary about his skeleton frame, I guess is what you'd call it.
I was going to ask you. I saw an article today that was, is his stock dropping because of his build, because of how skinny and small he is?
Yeah, I think, again, we kind of talked about this a couple weeks ago. We talked about Justin Fields. Prospect fatigue is a huge thing, and people like to pick apart these little things towards the end of the process, and a lot of the times they turn out to be meaningless. Like, I remember Michael Thomas, when he was getting drafted, he fell in the end because he had small hands. I was like, well, that proved didn't matter at all.
Gotta need those big hands in order to catch that football. Bigger hands mean that you can catch it, no doubt. Smaller hands, you're not going to be able to hold the football. I know, I have the smallest hands.
He has the best hands.
Here's the best hands. They're the best hands. My hands are the best.
Yeah, I think they just need to get Daniel Jones some more weapons. Saquon obviously comes back this year. Adding Kenny Golladay is huge. And then if you can get another guy like Devonta Smith or Jalen Waddle, it doesn't really matter to me which either one it is. It's just, again, I'm always in the case that you need to listen to offers, but always be listening. Yeah, it's never a necessity to trade down. I know that Ricky loves his trade downs whenever he does mock drafts. A little tinfoil hat going on there.
I like the trade ups more than the trade down. I like the teams trading up, not necessarily the teams trading down.
When you used to do like mock drafts at the NBA back in the day, you three all would be like, well, Ricky, you'd be like, so Ricky, who do you think they take here? Well, guys, this would be a prime candidate for a trade down opportunity. I just remember that. Like, it would literally be like every pick. Ricky's like, I don't know if they love anybody here, so they might want to trade down. I'm like, who's gonna pick somebody, Ricky? I think wide receivers are number one for them. They also the Giants could also look for an edge rusher or a cornerback. So if the Surtain falls there or JC Horn sitting there, they definitely are a team that could consider both of them.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the only way the Giants are trading down, because you brought up a good point. To have a trade down, you have to have a trade up.
Yep.
That's just how it works. You have to have somebody that's like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and trade up and get my guy. The only thing I can think of is, so like the Chargers, they're not going to move up 2 spots. Minnesota's not moving up. New England's number 1. Are they actually going to move up for a quarterback like people are rumoring them to? I don't think so. And then like Washington or Chicago. If they haven't moved up already, and if Fields or Lance are still there, or if they like Kyle Trask and think they want to take him at 10, that's the other like teams I can think kind of moving up. I mean, maybe Arizona. Like if Arizona feels like the Eagles are going to take a corner and Surtain's already gone or Horn's already gone, they want the second best corner.
Listen, the Eagles better not take a goddamn corner. Take a goddamn wide receiver that's actually good at catching football.
Apparently, they're really looking at cornerback. That's what they're going to do. Cornerback is their number one.
Did you not hear that their coach did rock, paper, scissors, shoot to test the competitiveness of some of the prospects? The Eagles are the.
Did you see his inner, like that just fits in with his press conference?
I am so glad not to be an Eagle fan because they are by far.
I'm sorry, Philly, Sean.
They are the worst run organization in football, and that's pretty wild to say because they are the stories that are slowly coming out about their ownership is just a joke. And they've needed a wide receiver. And last year, you literally the video of the Eagles laughing at the Vikings laughing at the Eagles for taking Jalen Reagor whenever Justin Jefferson was there. Yeah. So I mean,
hey, I liked both of them. So for me, I was like, I liked Reagor.
I just know it's clear which one was better. Yeah. Even though Reagor was hurt in and out of the lineup, it's pretty clear that Justin Jefferson was better. Like you go.
Yeah, the only teams I'm going to say bottom line that I see maybe calling the Giants, New England, Washington, Chicago, and Pittsburgh. And there's only one thing that hinges on all those teams. Quarterback. Where are the quarterbacks going to go? Like, I don't think there may not even be a trade partner for the Giants unless they're really hell-bent on doing it. And then the Dolphins go, hey, we can move up. We can move up from 18. We've got capital to move, and it won't cost us a lot. The other teams that are kind of in there to move down, is there any ones like Carolina? Like, we haven't really talked about Carolina. I guess I'll ask you because we didn't hit it on Monday as my body wants to hiccup all over itself. Do you think New England's actually going to move up for a quarterback? Like, should we... This might move us into the buy or sell, but, like, do you really think they're going to move up, or do you think that's all hogwash and they're just going to stay at 15?
I don't know. I can't tell. I can never get a read.
It makes sense. It's just...
It makes complete sense, but that means that Bill Belichick probably wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
That's what but it's funny because all of the tendencies that we're used to from Bill Belichick is when he had Tom Brady, and he doesn't have Tom Brady anymore. And we were used to them not spending money on offense. What the hell did they do this offseason? They spent money. Yeah. They went out there and got one of the top tight end duos now in the entire league because they went out there and got him. So everything that kind of happened I guess with Tom Brady is almost thrown out the window now. Now we get to see Bill Belichick build a team, which we didn't really get to see. We probably got to see in the early 2000s, but sorry, I was like 2 or 3 years old, so I don't remember it. This is really the first time in my lifetime we're going to have to see him rebuild a team from the bottom up, and it's probably going to happen pretty quickly because the Patriots are going to be pretty good this year if they get someone that's not named Cam Newton to be quarterback.
Well, you probably heard the rumors that came out this week, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that apparently in 2017, after like the whole it was around the Jimmy Garoppolo, Tom Brady thing where it was like you got to pick one of them. Apparently Belichick contacted, I think it was the Dolphins, the football team. Back then I think they were the Redskins, but the football team. I think the Carolina Panthers were the other team. Either them or the Giants, one of the two. I can't remember the third team. But he contacted them about their open vacancies. About if they, with their open vacancy, if they would be interested in entertaining him as head coach.
Well, all of them would probably go, yes, please.
And then, he didn't leave. They got rid of Jimmy. And then, Tone Diggs said on the Pat McAfee show, they just had one of the best, revenge, a spite season in 2018 and won the Super Bowl.
Maybe that's Tom Brady just sticking it to him, being like, see, you made the right choice. Nice voice crack there.
Oh, and if Tom found out, you wanted to fucking leave, good luck.
You wanted to leave, kid. I mean, hey, if we want to turn it into a hate Tom Brady, maybe they did make the wrong decision. Maybe they could have won those Super Bowls with Jimmy G, man. I don't think Jimmy G's coming back from 28-3 down.
I mean, Tom Brady, though, ultimate boomer, though, because did you hear what he said today?
No, that was fake. It wasn't actually true.
Was it?
He tweeted, "I need to speak to the manager, please."
Okay. Because I was
there's no way that he made that.
I saw on the non-meme pages that he hated the uniform change. I was like, okay, boomer, Tom.
Yeah, he said he quote tweeted that Bleacher Report tweet and said, "Can I speak to the manager, please?"
Okay.
I was like, But yeah, I mean, the Patriots are a hard read to get. But they've done basically everything this offseason that's gone against their values. Queen quotes during the Tom Brady era. So. I mean, if Justin Fields or Mac Jones does start to slip there, I'm still not a believer in Mac Jones. Maybe they move up to that 9-10 spot and see if they can entice the Broncos or the Cowboys to slip down and give them Mac or Fields.
The other team that surprised me, because I agree, I don't see the Patriots trading up. It's not the Bill Belichick way. I know you say that you make a good point of Bill Belichick is kind of doing the opposite. I don't see it. I don't see them moving up. The one that surprised me, and I actually saw this from Bleeding Green Nation, the SB Nation site, for the Philadelphia Eagles. And apparently there's buzz around the league that the Eagles could be planning to trade down, not trade up, trade down even further from where they are. They just traded back with the Dolphins, which got them the Niner pick at 12. Is this, yet again, reading into this though, is this an either we don't think Smith is going to be there now, or is this even a we might not even want Devonta Smith if he's there at 12?
It's a hard question because
unless they really want cornerback and they're like, we're not going to reach on one at 12.
Fucking take J.C. Horn and just throw in the cart. The Eagles are in a full rebuild, but they're technically not because they still have a lot of old veterans on big contracts on their team. So they're kind of stuck in purgatory, but they're in a bad division. The Cowboys probably bounce back. See, this division went from being bad to next year. It might be really good because the Giants,
the Washington football team might be competitive next year.
Like if you look at all those teams, you look at the Giants adding Kenny Golladay and another number 11 pick, like that could be huge for them. They get Saquon back this year. You see, the Cowboys get Dak back, which is huge. They're probably the favorites in the division. Washington football team adds Fitzpatrick and maybe somebody else, plus some other just depth key pieces. They're always going to be a good team. And then you look at the Eagles, and the Eagles are kind of just like the ugly stepchild. They're like, hey guys, hey look, we got Jalen Hurts at quarterback. Look how cool we are. We can run around sometimes. But they need to have a lot of needs. I mean, Ertz is probably going to be gone. I haven't heard anything about that in a while. Maybe that comes around on draft night. Maybe Ertz gets moved somewhere because that was talked about for weeks that he was going to get moved at some point.
One of the rumors, quarterback wise, that was maybe Jordan Love gets traded to the Patriots. Which I don't see the Packers else, man.
I don't see the Packers moving on from Jordan Love because I genuinely think
he's the next Aaron Rodgers. Haven't you heard?
Yeah, there's a reason they took him. There's a reason they took him there. The Eagles have a lot of needs. I mean, wide receiver, tight end, corner, safety, or just start. So they should really just be able to be there. And I also think they're just ending a rebuild and they're behind the other teams like the Giants and the Cowboys and the football team. So taking a BPA player is honestly, unless they get a wild offer from somebody trying to move up for a quarterback that fell or something like that.
And that's the thing. Like at first, I hated this idea. I was like, just take the best player at 12. However, it depends to me who's on the board at 12. Because if Devonta Smith is there, Devonta Smith would be the third overall wide receiver. However, as we've said, wide receiver is pretty deep this year. Not even just first round deep, but second, third round as well. So, like, if there's someone in the second, third round that you like, maybe you can say, okay, we can pass on. I can live passing on Devonta Smith. I wouldn't live passing on Waddle or Chase. Then you have tight end. I mean, Pitts is obviously going to be going by here. And now most mock drafts have Fryerburn or Fryerburr, however you say his last name. It's Fryer something out of Penn State. They have him falling, or Fryermute is what it is, Fryermute. They have him falling to the second round now. He used to be like a bottom of the first round guy. And then cornerback, you have like Greg Newsome. He's at the bottom of the draft. You've got Morig out of TCU, who's also down there. So, like, I look at it and it's like if you're not clear on Devonta Smith and you want, let's say they do want to go secondary, that's what they want to do. You can argue that it's wrong. I would agree with you. They should go wide receiver. But there are teams that I could, like, yet again, could you call up the Bills and entertain a trade? They're a team that has edge rusher as a possible, like, primary need. The Browns have edge rusher. And the reason why I'm looking at edge rushing is because it matters to me, are either Micah Parsons or Kwity Paye available at 12? Because people are all over on those two. Like, Micah or Kwity can go as high as, like, 7 or 8, maybe even 9, or they have them falling all the way to like 15, 14 area. So like for me, if either of those players, if both or one of them are on the board at 12, would one of these lower teams that might be in the bottom half of the draft, like from 21 to 30, would they want to try to move up to get that edge rusher? And the Eagles can move back, and then they can kind of situate like, okay, we'll take a Morig. Okay, we'll take a Newsome and get draft capital this year and or next year.
Yeah, I guess you could look at a team like the Ravens, whose main need is edge, and same with the Saints, I guess, and the Seahawks, who aren't even in the first round. So I don't think they'd have the artillery to move up that far.
Yeah,
there's a lot of teams that need edge rushers, but I mean, like you said, people are all over the fence on these guys. I'm not really sold on any of the pass rushers in this draft. I remember, I can't think of his name, but he was like a top 10 pick earlier, 2 months ago, and me and JD were crapping on him, and now he's not even in the first round for basically everybody. So
You said he was an edge rusher?
Yeah, I can't even remember. I'll find him.
Rousseau?
Rousseau.
Tankathon still has him in the first, but yeah, for the most part, he's fallen. I think Rousseau's going to be the steal, though. I am going to be the hipster and say that, because I do like him.
He's a big guy with bad footwork and bad hands, and he relies on pure athleticism.
He's going to surprise some people.
Surprised us with how bad he is. Yeah, I agree. I think there's always going to be a team looking to move up in so many falls. We saw it. I mean, we see it basically every year. We saw it, the Saints when Davenport was falling a couple years ago, traded 2 firsts to go up and get him. So whether it was the right move or not is a different question. But the edge rushers are at a premium in this draft. There aren't very many of them that are somewhat highly rated.
Even if Kwity Paye is gone, though, like I'm looking now, like big board style, like. Even if Paye is gone by then, let's say someone above 12 takes him, you still got like Jalen Phillips from Miami that people are now like, he's rising. He's a fucking rocket ship going to the moon right now. You've got Azeez Ojulari out of Georgia who's rising. Like those 3 there, if any of them are available, a team might as well move up for them.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I'd agree. Again, it's all dependent on price. I'm not, like I said, I'm not high on any of the edge rushers in this class, so I don't know if I'd really be willing to give up. I mean, Zaven Collins is probably, honestly, him and Paye are probably by far my favorite 2, but I don't even know.
Zaven Collins.
Yeah, I think I'm just not sold. This class has so much tackle and wide receiver depth that I think those are the main things you're going to see go in the first round. So if a team is willing to get an edge rusher, there are going to be opportunities to move up for them in the draft.
Well, and like JD brings up another thing. He says, like, for himself, Carlos Basham is his favorite edge rusher. But like even Basham's a guy, like let's say JD, I'm putting him in the situation where he's a GM of the Eagles. If Basham's number 1 on your board, you can then trade back because no way you're taking him at 12 because most people have him as a low first, early second.
Yeah, most people have him around the 40s, I think. So I really like Zaven Collins. I think he's probably my favorite, and I don't even know if like I'm wildly high on him. So it's a giant question mark for me. It's going to be, I think the top 10 is pretty not solidified, but we basically know who's going to go in the range of the top 10. Then after that, it's going to be a crapshoot because I genuinely don't know what's going to happen outside of that and how high teams are going to rate Micah Parsons or JC Horn or Darashaw. So I think it's going to be a really interesting draft because I think after you like 7-8 picks, it can just go all to shit.
Hell, I honestly, after the top 3, it's a crapshoot. Like I know that there's some in the top 10 that were kind of narrowing, but I think after the top 3, quarter, Falcons start it. Falcons start the possible.
I think the next 3 after the top 3 are going to be Pitts, Sewell, and Chase, as long as somebody doesn't move up for a quarterback.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The Falcons can screw everything up by trading it, though. That's the thing.
Yeah. It's gonna be. I mean, that number 3 pick basically decides the entire rest of the draft because if they take Mac Jones, everything's gonna go shit wire because people are gonna try to trade up to 4 to get Trey Lance or Justin Fields, just everyone they already hired.
That's the thing, Jake. And that leads us into the final thing we're going to do on today's show.
Look at me transitioning.
That's what they call a segue in the biz. Or in this case, a Jake way. But we're playing a little buy or sell. This is on the fast break. We used to call it Oakley or Folkley. We don't have a fun name for it. So if you guys want to help us with that on the football side, it would much be appreciated. But we're taking a look at draft rumors. And if we buy it, do we see it happening? Do we like it? Or are we selling it? No way. It's a crap. Like, not going to happen. Ricky, get the tinfoil hat off. That's what it is. And the first one we're going to take a look at, Jake, or the first one on the docket, Mac Jones is the favorite at number 3 to go to the Niners. Are you buying or selling?
I'm so sad for Niners fans. I'm buying it because I can't remember his name. He's on Good Morning Football or whatever it is. Football,
it's not
whatever
Burleson,
his name
is it?
Well, no. I can't remember his name. Whatever it was. He was on the Pat McAfee show today, and he talked about his mock draft, and he's one of the most Schrager. That's what it is.
Peter Schrager.
He is. Yeah, Peter Schrager. He's one of the most accurate when it comes to mock drafts. You can look up his past mock drafts because he doesn't do what he would rate or whatever. He has contacts with basically every team in the NFL, and he does what he thinks is going to happen.
Side note, though, I love their entire cast. Like, I love Kay Adams, I love Nate, and I love Peter. They're probably the best football talk show.
Nate's a Saints hater, though, so I like him, but he needs to rein in a little bit. But
former Viking can't hate.
And he had Mac Jones going 3 to the Niners. Yeah. So while, again, I'm going to be a strong opponent to this pick when it happens, I think that they're going to go with it because I think there's a belief that I can make any quarterback good in my system, and I think that the simplest guy, the easiest to teach is Mac Jones.
It's not any guy. It's the quote that I saw that I believe. I'm also buying this, by the way, is I believe Shanahan is under the mindset of, I want a guy who's not an athletic freak. An athletic quarterback will screw up my system, because if you look at the quarterbacks that he's been successful with, I mean, one of them you look at is Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan is not an athletic quarterback. You look at Jimmy G when they went to the Super Bowl. Jimmy G would not be considered an athletic freak by any means, and I feel like that's why they're going with a Mac Jones, because you look like Niners, Jimmy G, not an athletic freak. With the Falcons, you had Matt Ryan. I'm trying to think with the Cleveland Browns, they've had so many quarterbacks. Who was their quarterback in 2014?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Browns starting, but like my point stands where he believes that an athletic freak is going to mess up his system. That's why he'll go with a Mac Jones over a Lance or even a Justin Fields.
I get it to a degree, but I would 100,000,000% take Trey Lance.
And I should even say, well, here's the thing. I think that it's Jones over Fields because of the athletic freak. It's Jones over Trey Lance because Trey Lance definitely has to sit 1 year. Definitely has to sit a year. That's what I feel. Mac Jones, to me, I feel like, will he be amazing stepping in right away? Probably not. But I would say I would feel more confident. If you told me you need a rookie quarterback to start day one, I would say Lawrence, Wilson, and fucking Mac Jones would be my top 3 confidence-wise to step in.
But they don't need a quarterback to step in. They have Jimmy G sitting there.
But I don't think they're confident in Jimmy. That's the thing.
I'm not. Mac Jones is the same thing. He's like literally the same quarterback.
But he's healthy. If Jimmy didn't break his ankle and was healthy, they're not even trading up. It just makes no sense to me to trade all those first round picks to take Mac fucking Jones. I get his upside is an average NFL quarterback. I'm sorry, it is. He's never going to be he might be an all pro just based off of what team he plays on if they win games. But if you're talking with ever top 5 quarterbacks, he never has a chance to get in that conversation in his career. Yeah. Maybe, and I strongly believe that Trey Lance does, even if he has to sit a year. So play Jimmy G a year, and if he gets hurt and Trey Lance has to play, then so be it. I'm still struggling to see if I see Mac Jones as the first round talent at quarterback. So I don't understand taking him at 3. It's just and this is like people are comparing to when the Browns took Baker 1. I'm like, no, Baker was a top 5, top 10 prospect. He was.
It's really different than what Mac Jones, who at the beginning of mocks, he was at like 27.
Yeah. Here's the difference. The Baker year, we had 5 quarterbacks. We knew all 5 were first round talents. I mean, retrospect, some would say Rosen wasn't, but I think Rosen hasn't gotten the benefit of the doubt. He's just unlucky situation. We knew all those 5 guys were first-round talents. This year, we had 4 that we knew were first-round talents, and it's like, will there be a 5th Mac Jones, Kyle Trask? Like, that was our, will there be, won't there be? And then Mac Jones just was like, hey, there's a rocket ship here. Let me just strap on it and go shoot to the moon.
I have a photographic memory, and I'm white. Let me jump up the boards real quick. I mean, nobody wants to say it, but
if he goes to the Bears, it's because he's white.
I mean, he's a Bears quarterback kind of guy.
Yeah,
he's a Ryan Pace kind of guy. I don't understand the fascination with Mac Jones. I think he'll be an all right quarterback, and maybe with an elite defense, he'll be able to win a lot of games, and maybe that's all the Niners need. But I don't get selling the farm of future first and future picks to go get Mac Jones at 3. It just, I don't understand it.
So just to, before we move on into the next one, just to fit my trend of the athletic freak quarterbacks with Kyle Shanahan. So did a little research. So if you look through his career, Niners, Jimmy G. When he was with the Falcons, he had Matt Ryan. He was there for 2 years, 2015, 2016. 2014, he was the offensive coordinator for the Browns. Their starting quarterback, they had 3 of them that year. The one who started 1 game was Connor Shaw. You had Johnny Manziel start 2 games. The primary starter for them that year, 13 games. Who was it?
Was it Deshaun Kaiser?
Brian Hoyer.
I was a year off, I think.
Also, there's a trend here. Jimmy G, white quarterback. Matt Ryan, white quarterback. Brian Hoyer, white quarterback. In Washington, I'm not even trying to hit that one. It's just happening. He was with Washington from 2010 to 2013. 2010, they had Donovan McNabb. 2011, they had Rex Grossman. 2012, they had RG3. Notice how the RG3 year, really the Rex Grossman year, none of those years were probably that great. And then his years in Houston, his first years as an offensive coordinator, 2008, 2009, with the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans had Matt Schaub Matt Schaub both years, where I guess he got injured in 2008, and Sage Rosenfeld filled in for 5 games. So you have, out of all those quarterbacks, how many of them were athletic? Probably 2, maybe. Donovan McNabb was at the end of his career, though. And then RG3, and then also a bunch of white quarterbacks. Just throwing it out there. I will be the one to say that.
And when he choked 2 Super Bowls, maybe he could have used an athletic quarterback to get him out of those situations and get some points on the board.
Maybe.
Or are we just going to keep going that? Yeah. I just unathletic white quarterbacks. Are they just trying to get Tom Brady? Is that what they're literally? It's literally what they're trying to do.
Tom's going to want to win a Super Bowl with every team, man. He's going to go around to every team trying to win a Super Bowl. First quarterback ever to win 32 Super Bowls, with 1 being from every team.
I get that I don't even get it. I honestly, I'm trying to reason with myself why you take Mac Jones at 3, and I don't get it. I wouldn't have traded up in the first place, because I would have just sat where you were and maybe gotten somebody else, but I would have rolled out this year with Jimmy G, and if you suck, then next year go after Howell or something like that.
The next one, this one we've kind of already touched. Falcons staying pat and selecting Kyle Pitts. I want to lean with sell, but I could see it happening.
Wait, you said the Falcons?
The Falcons. Being
okay, I thought you said for some reason I heard the Pats, and I was the hell is he going to fall down there?
Falcons at 4, not trading the pick, taking Kyle Pitts, buy or sell.
So this comes down, I have to sell it, just because, no, let me preface it with, I could definitely see it happening, but with Mac Jones going at 3, since I bought that in the last one, I think a team's going to move up to 4 to try to take a Trey Lance or a Justin Fields.
Okay.
So I'd have to sell it just because I don't think Atlanta picks there. If Atlanta stays in that spot, I think they take him without a second guess. It just depends on the offers, but I would sell that they're going to stay and take Kyle Pitts.
I'm the same way. I'm leaning towards sell. The only reason why I say lean towards sell is if I was the Falcons, unless I am getting the God offer that I proposed from the Miami Dolphins, which would be 18 this year, your 3rd pick this year, the Niners first for the next 2 years, and then the Niner 3rd for next year. Unless I'm getting that offer, I would take Kyle Pitts here, because the Falcons need a tight end. It is a need for them. I know defense would probably be a more important need, but you can take Pitts. Hunter Henry, see your ass, your non-guaranteed contract after this year. Should have never signed you. We got Kyle Pitts now. adding him with Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley and Justin
Matt Ryan can overthrow all of them.
Oh, what's his name?
Calvin Ridley?
No, Gage. What's his first name? I think it's starts with an R. Basically, they have 3 wide receivers. Also, thank you, Philly Sean, for the 9 months of being subbed to the channel. Thank you.
Eagles still suck.
With me, I would buy this. That's what I would do. But I'm saying sell, not just because of a quarterback like you said. I think there's going to be people trying to move up for Pitts, for Sewell, for a quarterback. There's going to be numerous teams trying to get their pick because teams want something more than a quarterback, and there's talent up there at the top. Russell Gage, thank you.
Yeah. Maybe it's just this draft's gonna be so interesting because we're saying all these trades could happen and all these teams can move, and then all these people are just gonna stay pat and take the best talent, which is would you see Pitts at 4 and Sewell at 5 and
I would hate it. I love trades. I love when everything gets messed up.
I know you do. Trust me. I mean, hey, remember back in the day you called that the Luka Doncic trade just had the wrong people going on the trade.
It should have been the Clippers. I'm telling you, it should have been the Clippers.
Oh, obviously, imagine Luka on the Clippers. With
no. The Clipper one, I'm thinking of a different one. That was Michael Porter.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I had them trading their 2 picks for Michael Porter. Could you imagine if they got Michael Porter on this team?
They could have just taken. They took Shea and Michael Porter was still there, so they could have just taken both of them. But
they could have.
They took Justin Robinson, I think it was
Jerome Robinson.
Jerome Robinson, that's what it was.
And
yeah, see, I don't remember his name. He's out of the league.
Earl Robinson or something like that.
Yeah, he's out of the league.
Yeah,
so
they took 2 guys that are not in the league.
The other pick was Shea.
Oh, okay. You're right.
It was Shea and Jerome. Yeah. So, but back to football. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked there. I'm not quite sure what the Falcons do because they're in a very peculiar position with the division because I still think even with Jameis Winston at quarterback, the Saints are a better team than the Falcons, and the Bucs are a better team than the Falcons. Obviously, they just won the Super Bowl. So, with the Panthers just getting Sam Darnold, do they start to play better? And then you kind of have the Falcons who are just a question mark there. They played a lot better once they fired their coach last year, obviously, but that's the new coach bump that happens with a lot of teams. It's still a question mark as if does this team go into full rebuild within the next year or two, or do they still try to push it one more time with Matt Ryan?
I think Matt Ryan's there. I don't think they're taking a quarterback. I know that his contract is bad. They have a potential out. I think it's after this year. Yeah,
but this is a Trey Lance spot if you want him to sit for a year.
I would love Trey. Here's the thing, and I'm glad you fucking. I'm speaking about Trey Lance. I literally just typed Matt Lance.
Matt Ryan and Trey Lance together.
I was here's the thing. I'm going to say it again. When I looked at Trey Lance film way back when I started looking at prospect film, there were 3 teams that I saw that I was like, he'd be a great fit for. The outside team was the Falcons. But at that time, I was like, and it's like you said, he could sit for a year under Matt Ryan. The buyout or the potential out is it's after this season. So, I mean, like David I talked about before, if it's a potential out, you're taking a $40 million cap hit for the 2022 season.
Yeah.
But if you're drafting a quarterback this year, let's say you draft Trey Lance at 4, you're not trying to win right away. You're going into your rebuild. So 2022, you're not even expecting to win. So eat that money for a year and then go and get free agents later after you amass some more draft picks. I would not hate Trey Lance to the Falcons at 4. I wouldn't. Go ahead. You had something you were going to say.
I was just going to say I would like Trey Lance a lot there at 4, but not for my own sake because I don't want to root against Trey Lance as a Saints fan.
The next one has to do with the Lions, and it has to do with someone from the college that you root for, Jake. Mm-hmm. Buy or sell Detroit Lions looking at Micah Parsons at number 7. I'm selling this 110%. However, the only way I would buy this, and I'm starting to think about this more from an MCDC standpoint, we're all saying Lions, wide receiver, you need it. Go ahead and get it. Is MCDC going to fuck this up? And by when I say fuck this up, I mean fuck up the draft, not fuck up the pick. Where he's not going to go for need. Is he going to go for, I want to find an MCDC guy here at 7?
I think, I first off, I would buy that they're looking at him. I'm not going to buy they're going to take him, but I buy that they're looking at him just because I mean, he fits this new Lions grit and grind kind of play. He's just good at everything. He flies around the field, has a high football IQ. He's not great at anything, but he's just a very solid linebacker. So I think he definitely fits what they're trying to build there. And he has the mindset of a dog, like that. He'll get down and dirty and he'll play hard every single snap. And that's what he did at Penn State. And that's what I think he'd do in Detroit. So maybe that's why they're looking at him. But that if they really want Micah Parsons, that's definitely a trade down scenario because they could probably get him later in the middle of the first round if a team wants to move up for a quarterback.
One thing I do want to kind of interject here because it's a Falcon question from Mad Rogue. He says, if a quarterback is drafted, how willing is Matt Ryan to play mentor for the rest of his contract? Well, I'll just answer that simply. It's only this year, and it doesn't fucking matter.
I think he's pretty willing.
I mean, well, we had the whole, like, Brett Favre thing where Brett Favre didn't want to... Like, nobody wants to groom their replacement. I get that. Nobody wants to. But, like, if I'm the ownership, doesn't fucking matter.
I also don't care if he wants to. I don't care if he wants to or not.
Because I'm not looking... If I was the coach and I was like, hey, we're drafting this guy, I would want him basically to learn from me and the coaching staff and just observe Matt. Just look at what he does. Pick up on things that way. Like, he wouldn't be looking for Matt to be like, all right, take out your notebook. I'm going to feed you some notes here.
I'll be interested because the Falcons' new GM was the old head of college scouting for the Saints. So I'm interested to see how...
Didn't Ryan Pace come from the Saints?
Who?
Didn't Ryan Pace come from the Saints?
I have no idea, honestly. The Saints have been a very good drafting team, one of the best drafting teams when it comes to late round picks in the NFL in the last decade or so. So I'm interested to see the reason. I remember I made this reasoning like 2 months ago when we knew the draft order and we first started talking about it. Is the Falcons probably aren't going to be this high ever again in the next couple of years, regardless if they keep Matt Ryan or not. So if Trey Lance is there, or even if Justin Fields is there, and you have a guy who you think can be the quarterback of your future, you take him, and you might never have the chance to be this high and take a quarterback of that caliber once again, because back a couple months ago, we were saying this is Zach Wilson territory. This is exactly where he'd fall. And now
I'm so happy he's risen to 2.
Quarterback one in this draft, Zach Wilson, is going to be the best quarterback in this draft class.
I hope you're right. I hope he is the best quarterback from this draft class. Sorry, Trevor Lawrence.
You imagine if I'm right about that.
I love Zach Wilson.
And he's going to the Jets, which is going to be even better. He has a better scenario that he's going into than Urban Meyer and the Jacksonville Jaguars. So, I think. What were we even talking about?
We were talking about the Falcons.
Oh yeah, the Falcons they're going to take the best talent available, I think, which is Pitts. But there's a slight chance they look at Trey Lance or Justin Fields and go, hey, we're not going to be this high again. Maybe we take a quarterback and solve our future there. Also,
I will say I looked it up. So Ryan Pace was hired in 2001 as an operations assistant by the Saints. In 02-03, he was a scouting assistant for the Saints. In 04 to 06, he was a professional personal scout for the Saints.
So wait, do you think that's the years that they got Drew Brees in 2006? Do you think he goes, this is a Ryan Pace guy. We got to sign. Is Ryan Pace not the problem? Oh my gosh, did we just solve that?
So in 07 to 2012, he was the director of professional scouting for the Saints. And then in 2013 to 14, he was the director of player personnel for the Saints. So he's basically been a Saint from 01 to 2014, and he's been with the Bears for now 6 seasons as the general manager. But because I thought he came from the Saints. But back to the Lions, though. I agree with you. Maybe they're looking at him, but I'm selling the fact on drafting him. I agree with Eric, even though but here's the thing. We could agree. We could talk blue in the face that Lions need a wide receiver. Lions need a wide receiver. Lions need a wide receiver. Think of the Lions as this, though. I know the Goff thing. People are like, are they competing or are they trying to... Don't even think of Goff as anything. Goff was just to make the contract work in order to get picks from the Rams for Matthew Stafford. This is a complete rebuild by MCDC.
I was going to say, yeah. But like, they don't need to take a wide receiver because they're not going to be good this year. So why does it matter if they have a receiver or not?
It depends. Like, to me, and this is what I'm kind of... As we get close to the draft, I'm kind of going with is who in this draft at 7 is going to be the MCDC guy. That's who Dan Campbell's going to want. That's who they're going to take. Because, I mean, you look at it and it's like...
The Saints guy.
Yeah. So you have also the GM. I can't think of his name in Detroit and MCDC. They're working very closely together. Like, it is weird to hear a head coach in like press conferences go, "Yep, so-and-so and I are going to be talking together. We're going to plan this out." And then it like plays out like, holy shit, they actually talked about it. And they kind of have a joint vision here. Like, whoa, this is weird that the GM ain't trying to do something different than the coach.
It's funny because Dan Campbell comes from the Saints, but that's how the Saints have been run since Peyton got there. So him and Mickey Loomis literally have the same vision the entire time of how the team's shaped. So maybe Dan Campbell actually has an idea of how to build a successful football team. Maybe Detroit can actually get some. I hope for his sake that he's good, because Dan Campbell is electric. I mean, his speeches and his press conference were electric. So I want him to succeed. I
saw a video on Twitter. This was like a week or two ago, and I tweeted this out, by the way. And it was him talking to the motor industry workers for Detroit, kind of like talking up the team and being like, "Hey, we care about you guys, the fans." Just listening to him talk, Jake. Yeah. When I do get married, I want him to be the officiant at my wedding, because that man would make me want to run through a brick wall for my future wife. He would pump me up so much, Jake, that like, if you even have cold feet at your wedding, Dan Campbell will make sure that cold feet are warm, that they are on fire after he's done talking to you. But yeah, I could see Micah Parsons being looked at. Maybe it's a buy here then. But yet again, I'm starting.
You didn't say takes. That's why I said buy, because they looked
so
at him,
the article does say looking at. So maybe it's a buy, not a sell. I'll change my answer then. It's a buy that they're looking at. But I don't know if they take them. I really am starting to question that Lions pick, because usually it's been, oh, this is what they need. That's what they're going to go with. The next one seems asinine to me. Sell it to the moon. Don't even think about it. The Eagles are a candidate to trade back into the top 10. Why? Why'd you trade out of it if you're just going to trade back into it? Why?
Depends on the value and depends who falls, I guess. But doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, they are a candidate, I guess, to move up for Pitts at 4 if they want to, because they need a tight end. Even though he's not really a tight end, he's a slot receiver. I get it all, but he's a versatile weapon.
I'll cut you off for 2 seconds, because the article here does say, in addition to hitting on the Lions rumors, Breer also mentioned in his Monday morning quarterback column that Philadelphia was a team to look at as a possible trade-up candidate, despite them trading out of the 6th pick with Miami. He indicated that cornerback is a possibility if the team enters back into the top 10, with the Eagles being guaranteed one of either Surtain, Caleb Farley, or J.C. Horn with the 12th spot. I don't really see this as a necessity for them. I agree. Like, if you're moving up for a corner, why? One of them is going to be there at 12, unless you think 2 teams are going to move up for cornerback.
Yeah, it doesn't really make... the Eagles, what did I say earlier, Ricky? They're the worst run franchise in the league, and this just continues to prove it.
Like, if they're going to move up for a wide receiver, like, if let's piggyback off of the Lion rumor for a second. Let's say the Lions do go someone other than wide receiver.
Yeah.
Then things start getting interesting, because then at that point, like, fuck. Like, let's say, I'm even going to add more cheese on top of it. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Let's say the Falcons go with Kyle Pitts, like we said. Let's say the Bengals go with Penny Sewell. Let's say the Dolphins, like we talked about earlier, trade out because a team trades up for a quarterback. If all of that happens, and then the Lions pass on a wide receiver, you're sitting with the 8th pick in Carolina, and it's like, oh shit, all 3 wide receivers are there. We could have had our pick of them. Like, if that happens, then okay, maybe trying to move up to 8, or maybe being like, we'll try to move up. I don't know if like the Cowboys trade with them. They'd probably have to move up to 8 or 9.
I mean, that is a pretty Jerry Jones move. That is a pretty Jerry Jones move to move up and take another wide receiver. I mean, trade up and get another wide receiver. Up.
But like, okay, if we're sitting there at 8 and Chase, Waddle, and Smith are all there, then if I'm an Eagles fan, please trade up. Please get one of those.
Jamar
picks.
Chase and just, I mean, That's the dream scenario for them. I doubt that happens, but it's definitely a case.
That's the thing we're talking about. It could happen.
Yeah. We're always talking about these what ifs when we come to the draft scenario, but I mean, even if they trade up to 8 and get a wide receiver, what's the price going to be? And are they just going to have to give up the picks that they got when they trade down? So,
see, I don't think so. They may have to give up some of them, but I don't think they're going to have to give up like 2 firsts to move up that far.
Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely an interesting question. I'm doubtful that the Eagles are going to actually make a smart move as an organization and trade up for Jamar Chase. They'll probably just stay put.
So this year, I'm looking at just their picks this year. They have the San Fran pick in the first. They have their own pick in the second. They have 3 third-rounders. There's Indies in Miami. Or they're in Indies. They have 2 third-rounders. They have a 4th-rounder from Miami. They have a 5th-rounder from themselves. They have 3 6th-round picks, their own, and then 2 comp picks. And then they have 2 7th-round picks, one from themselves, one from the 49ers. So they have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 picks. 1, 2, 3, 4. I clicked on one, fuck. But the point is, they have a ton of picks this year. So maybe they get something to work out, but I don't know. I agree that the scenario that I mapped out is very crack pipe, very tinfoil hat. Yeah. And I don't see all 3 wide receivers being there at 8. If you're trading up for a cornerback, sell it. Don't do it. Just don't do it.
I agree.
Because it's going to be a bad time. What about this? We could see the first edge rusher off the board to the New York Giants. I'm buying. I could see this happening.
Yeah, I think
because who's going to take edge rusher ahead of him?
Yeah, nobody would take it ahead of them. It's just a question of who falls to them would be. Yeah. I think edge is their second biggest need behind wide receivers. So yeah, I could see it happening. Kwity Paye would be a good pick for them. I don't know if it's a pick I'd make, but yeah. I'd 100% buy that rumor because I think it fits one of their needs.
The next one, because that one I didn't have a lot on. Bengals are leaning towards Jamar Chase, 5th overall. Buy or sell?
Buy. I think Burrow's having a lot of input with this team. I think they want to reunite. I mean, this also. See, it's hard
because I'm selling this hard.
I'm buying it hard just because I'm not saying that they're going to take Jamar Chase, but I think that he might be number 1 on their board just because Joe Burrow wants him. You want as a small market franchise, you want to appease your franchise quarterback when you have them. So getting a Jamar Chase and bringing him in, and I mean the Bengals, I think people are underselling Jamar Chase and how good he is just because he didn't play for a year. The same thing with Penei Sewell. But I think we've seen the movement. I would take Penei if I had their pick, but I think we've seen the movement in the last couple of weeks with the rumors of Joe Burrow pushing for it and the Jamar Chase hype coming back as it was in the beginning of the draft process, that Jamar Chase might be the pick there just for them, just to appease Joe Burrow. And I mean, he's going to be an elite wide receiver, so it's not like it's a bad pick or anything.
Yeah, I almost look at this. It's 2 things. One, you really have your choice which LSU wide receiver you want. Yes, Jamar Chase is the better of the 2, but if I can get someone to protect my quarterback and then get him a wide receiver like Terrence Marshall Jr., who he has rapport with, in the next round, give me that. Because it's like the other thing I saw today on Facebook. It was a picture of the new Joe Burrow's picture, the one that JD has as his picture on Discord now, of Joe Burrow sitting in like the Bengal throne, and all it said was, show me what your team is drafting without telling me what your team is drafting. And the left side was the picture, and then the right side was zoomed in on his knee and just showing the like surgical cut on his knee and front leg. And it's like, that is the most important. I get appeasing your quarterback, but sometimes I get why Joe Burrow wants to play with Jamar Chase, and Jamar Chase would be a great weapon for Joe Burrow. But if you don't have time to throw him the ball, you're not going to be able to get him the ball. And I agree. And the Bengals, in my mind, can't go through another year where their quarterback is running like a chicken with his head cut off because the line can't protect him. You got Penei Sewell there. You go ahead and take him. I know there's some arguments, too, from Bengal Nation that is like, but we already have a left tackle. We don't need a left tackle. And it's like, the left tackle that you have right now, which I got to look up exactly who it is. I know it's a younger player. would you want Penny Sewell over them? I would almost take Penny Sewell over your left tackle right now. Jonah Williams. Yeah, Jonah Williams, thank you, JD, who fell in the draft, who I also believe can play right tackle. So, like, you put Sewell at left.
Panay can play right tackle, too, so it's not like...
Bingo. Like, that's the thing. Versatility from either one. You take the best tackle, you protect your quarterback.
And I agree. I said from the start I would take Penei Sewell. I think when JD and I were talking last week, and I was like, I'd take Penei Sewell, but I could see them leading Jamar Chase just to appease Joe Burrow. Yeah. So I think it's a flip of the coin. I would pick Penei Sewell. I think I think he kind of suffers from the same thing that Jamar Chase does. They both didn't play last year, but they're both historically great at their positions in college at their age. So I think it's going to be a tough choice either way for the Bengals. Yeah. But Penei Sewell, protect your franchise quarterback and move on to the next year.
So the next one, Jake, I love this one because I'm going to make a prediction right here on the show. It is Pittsburgh Steelers are honing in on, oh no, never mind. I'm going to change it. Can I change it? Are you okay if I change it? So theirs was Pittsburgh Steelers are honing in on a running back. Sell. Just sell it. It's easy. I'm going to change it. Pittsburgh Steelers are honing in on a quarterback in the first round.
So
I am buying it, and I am making a prediction here. Steelers trade up for Justin Fields. It's going to happen.
That'd be dope, but they won't because Ben Roethlisberger would get pissed off.
They're going to trade. Here's the thing. He ain't a part of the future. They're trading up for Justin Fields. I am, yet again, this could be me just going down a rabbit hole that is leading nowhere, but fuck it. I'm going to see it all the way to the end.
Keep going.
I think Mike Tomlin is very high on Justin Fields. I feel like this is a situation they know they're at the end of the line with Big Ben. They're at the end of the line with Big Ben. He's not going to be a Steeler for long. Justin Fields can come in. I know people are going to say, but Ricky, they got Dewey Haskins. Dewey Haskins is nothing. Dwayne! I feel like they are going to trade up for Justin Fields because Justin Fields will fall. He won't be a Geno Smith faller. He won't be a Johnny Manziel faller. But the way I see it playing out, Justin Fields will fall. I'll put it this way. Quarterback, top three. Lawrence, Wilson, Mac Jones. Then somebody will trade up in the top 10 for Trey Lance. Somebody will then have to trade up for Justin Fields. And the Steelers will hone in on him. They will have to trade up because they will have to jump ahead of the Patriots. Because I think the Patriots would take Justin Fields if he's there at 15. So my prediction, locking it in a week ahead of the draft, Steelers will get Justin Fields. They will trade up for him. And that's who they're getting.
Yeah, I mean, while I agree with like all the reasons you gave and everything, the Steelers are an organization that's built on their quote unquote loyalty and towards their players. So, and Big Ben has talked about retiring in the past and then keeps coming back, even though we can see he's beyond washed. I mean, we can see it in the playoffs last year too. So I would love the reasoning, and I think Justin Fields would be an amazing get if they could trade up for him. I just don't believe in the organization trading while Ben's on the team just because he has been the heart and soul of the team for so long, and that's not something that even though I agree with everything you said, it's just the organization is extremely loyal towards the longtime players, and I don't think they want to piss Ben off, and I would assume is his last year as their quarterback.
And in his contract it is, because he's under contract this year, next year's is voided, and then the next 3 years are all dead. If you're looking at Spot Rec. So he's done after this year. He's a free agent. I think that's why they're going to hone in on a quarterback. They're going to sit behind Big Ben. They will then shake Big Ben's hand after the year, say thanks for the career. You can either retire with the Steelers or you can go play for someone else, but you can't play here no more. It'll be an Alex Smith type of situation. Hey, we appreciate what you did for this franchise, but we've got the future behind you. We believe we have the future behind you.
I hope they don't, because I hope the Steelers suck.
The last one, I'm going to change the wording of, Jake. Because the one thing I've noticed about this article is their wording is piss poor to where it doesn't make you be like buy, sell. They say Washington or Chicago both considering moving up into the top 5 for a quarterback. I'm going to say, will either Washington or Chicago move up to the top 5 for a quarterback?
No. I think it's too much value to give up.
If I say top 10, does that change it?
There's a shot, but the top 5, no shot. There's too much. There's too much value to give up from 20 and 20 and 19. I think they're either 18 or 19 or 20. That's what it is. They're both in that range. So I think it's wildly too much of an asking price to move up to the Falcons at 4. If you say top 10, maybe the Broncos at 9. Maybe
or the Panthers at 8. I think the Panthers could be a trade down.
The price to move up that far in a draft for a quarterback when there's obviously going to be other teams calling as well. It's just a lot. So I don't know if I completely buy it, but I mean, it definitely. If Ryan Pace gets the idea that he is fighting for his job this year, which he shouldn't even be in the job, then I could see him selling the future to try to go get a quarterback like Fields. Or I really only think it would be Fields, but he's not a Ryan Pace kind of guy. So I don't know. I don't know if I'd buy him moving up. The football team, that's more of a chance, but they signed Fitzpatrick, or they just roll with him this year and I guess hope for the best and go 10-8 or something like that, or 10-7. New schedule's got me all messed up.
I'm the same. I'm just gonna say I'm the same way as you. Top 5, no chance. And the only reason I say that is there's only one team that's gonna move, and I don't know. Like the Bears, I don't think have the picks to move up to 5. Washington, I don't know if they're gonna want to do it and give up that much. I agree. If they're trading up, it's either 8, 9, or 10. It's either Panthers, Broncos, or the Cowboys. But like the way I'm kind of leaning, if the Falcons stay put, that means 2 quarterbacks are there at 8. Washington or Chicago moves up for 1. Steelers move up for the other one. Bada bing, bada boom. There's your top 5 quarterbacks taken in the draft. Top 10 though, like I just said, I'm buying it. I think one of them will trade up for a quarterback, but it will be at the 8, 9, or 10 spot, not the 4 spot.
Yeah, I could see it. I just there's going to be a lot of teams calling to move up for a quarterback if a Fields or a Lance falls. So it's going to be extreme value, which is those teams like the Panthers and like the Dolphins even. They're in luck for getting being there at 6 and 8 and the Broncos at 9, because if a Fields or Lance falls, a team is going to be willing to give up a good amount of value to go get one of them, because I still feel like Fields and Lance should be intertwined 3-4 in this quarterback class. So it's going to be interesting.
3 questions to end the show, Jake.
Yeah.
One comes from Mad Rogan Twitch chat. It says, question: If all 5 top quarterbacks are gone by the time the Bears are on the clock, do the Bears take one of the other top quarterbacks? No. Like,
you know what, Ricky,
are you taking Kyle Trask at 20? No.
Reword that. They shouldn't.
They shouldn't.
But it's the Bears.
I don't think they do. That's the thing. I hope not. If the top 5 are gone, I don't think the Bears reach. I'll say this: if the top 5 are gone, what I could see the Bears doing is going wide receiver or tackle at 20, and then saying, okay, let's trade up to 32 or 31 and try to get Trask with the extra option. Like, because that's a big thing. I think there's a potential Trask gets taken at 32 or 31 with someone trading up into the first round to get him.
Yeah.
But, I mean, who's going to be the one? The Bears could be that if they miss out on either Lance or Fields, because they're not going to get one of the top 3.
Yeah, I can see that. It's so hard to predict. Like, you could throw out all these theories, and then a random team like the Ravens could trade up to get into the 10 to 12 range. So it's going to be. I'm so excited for next week. That's what I can say.
The second question I had, JD actually asked this one, wanted us to hit it on the show. Do you see any of the teams like the Rams, the Seahawks, the Texans, who don't have first round picks trading into the first round for something? Because I don't.
The Rams could move into the late first for a tackle. I could see that if an Eichenberg or something follows. The Seahawks, I don't see a shot. And then who's the other team?
Oh, who's the coach? Why am I blanking on his name? The guy that everyone wants to have dinner with his assistants for the Rams. Fuck, what's his name? The head coach of the Rams. Why am I blanking on his name? McVay. Is McVay sitting there going, you want a first? You want a first? You want a future first? I'll get back in the first. Want a first? Want a first? He's just offering first round. Like cab driver, like, tip you? Here, have a 2024 first round pick. It's basically the Seahawks, Rams, and Texans are the teams without picks.
Yeah, I don't see the...
Deshaun Watson for a first-round pick.
Oh, God. I don't think he's worth that right now.
Yeah.
I don't know about the Texans. Maybe if an edge rusher falls or a corner falls. But besides that, I don't really see it. The Rams, if an Eichenberger or a tackle falls, I could see it. And then I don't think there's a chance for the Seahawks.
The last one, and this is coming from yesterday. You know this because I mentioned it to you. I watched Colin Cowherd's latest top 10 mock.
Yeah.
But also Eric and JD are having a conversation about it in Twitch chat. Is there any reasoning or good reasoning to have Rashawn Slater above Penei Sewell on your big board for offensive tackle?
Nope. I don't have any. Nope.
I agree. I feel like, because I saw Colin Cowherd take Slater over Sewell, and I was like, all right, edgelord, you're just trying to be different. You're just trying to be different. I see how it is. Slater's good, but he'll probably go to the Chargers.
No, he's good. He's not Penei Sewell.
Yeah, he's not Penei Sewell. Like, it's the one thing that you said. It's a combination of fatigue with these guys, but also after a while, like, for example, Zion in the NBA. After a while, we were looking to try to do something at number one because we knew what was going to be number one.
Yep.
You just get bored with it.
Yep.
You get bored after a while.
But it's prospect fatigue is what we mentioned with Fields and
that's the wording.
Penei. Yeah.
But Jake, banger of a show. We went over an hour. That's fine. Draft is going to do that. Jake and I will be back at least 2 more times next week. Monday for sure. Probably start the week off with some more draft rumors because shit's probably going to happen over the weekend.
I'd assume we don't do a show next Thursday and we just do the live stream for the draft.
No, that's the live stream's going to happen for that, and that'll probably be our second day with the draft.
And also, if you're in the Discord mock draft, I just got to finish typing all the teams in for the draft order, and then we'll start it right after the show goes off.
Cool. But yeah, we're going to do more draft topics next week. Tomorrow will be NBA. Dave and Soapy are scheduled. If one of them can't make it, then either Jake and I will pop on. The way it'll work is plan for Soapy and Dave. But if someone needs to be replaced, Jake will be going to the bullpen unless he is deathly ill from that shot.
I was going to say, not the left arm. The left arm's really sore right now. I can't be using that one.
not the left arm. But yeah, also join the Discord if you haven't already. It is a great community, best in the universe, and it's free. Link down below on YouTube, !Discord. Into Twitch chat gets you that. If you want to support us, patreon.com/MVPvids is one of the ways. You can also throw us a sub on Twitch like Philly Sean did today. Thank you, Philly Sean, for throwing us that Twitch sub. You get reward for doing so. We got bronze, silver, gold, and platinum levels on Patreon. Even if you're a Twitch sub, you get the bronze level rewards just for subbing to us on Twitch. And hey, if you got Amazon Prime Gaming, they're paying for it, so you don't even have to pay for it and get rewarded for doing so. Amazon will just give it to you via us. Thank you to our patron sponsor, Pat Hill. Follow us on Twitch, twitch.tv/MVPvids. Follow us on YouTube at MVP Sports, or I guess subscribe to us on YouTube at MVP Sports. Want to thank you all for everything that you do each and every day. We'll see you tomorrow, but as always, have a good day, everybody.